Good day, viewers, and welcome as usual. And not surprisingly, I shall have to make another apology. In my last video, I showed you some pictures of some themselves, and I commented that in heaven there will be more beautiful girls with luxurious eyes. That was a mistake. It's supposed to be girls with luscious eyes. Luscious spelled Luscious. It's a common mistake with people above 65. Mm. You say something and you think of something and you say another thing. It's not surprising. I've been saying that. I've also said that I don't want to change the video because in changing the video, I might still make more mistakes. I might still make another mistake. And so bear with me. My knees are down for you. So I didn't mean luxurious. Eyes cannot be luxurious, but they can be luscious. I read this thing long time ago, and I didn't just refer. I just went and called what I said. You will say a lot of things by heart when you are aging or when you are aged. So pardon me for that. Today we shall go to the next section, and that will be section 31. It begins with Surah. Sorry, it begins with verse, or rather, let me use sign because we say it's sign. Let's use sign. It begins with sign 237. And what does it say? La junadu alaikum. La junadu alaikum. In talaktum an nisaa ma lam tamsu hunna. Aw tafridu after aw tafridu hud aw tafridu lahunna. Let me take it again. It's clumsy reading. La junadu alaikum intalaktum an-nisaa ma lam tamsuhuna aw tafridu lahunna faridatan. What does this mean? There is no blame on you if you divorce women before communication, before consummation or the fixation of their divorce, but bestow on the let's end there, or of their divorce. This is something that people may question. Why do you marry a woman you haven't slept with her and you divorce her? There are so many reasons. You might find that it could be related to blood relation. It could be related to something detected about her after you've gotten near her. Maybe you don't even like the what do you call it? The pomade she's using. You can't stop her. Let's say pomade or ointment, or you might not like the body odor, something like that. There are so many reasons why you can take a woman a virgin whom you still want to divorce. So that is it. So there is no blame on you if you divorce women before consummation or the fixation of dowry. Mm. ومت ومتئوهن على الموسع قدر قدر موا قدر مو قدر قدر مو على مك على مكتري قدره. Oh, sorry, قدره. Sorry, okay. وما وتئوهن على موسع قدره على موسع قدره وعلى مكتري قدره. mata'an bil ma'rufun. Uh, as- but bestow on them a suitable gift. Even if you marry them without sleeping with them, bestow on them a suitable gift. The wealthy according to his means, and the poor according to his means. Mm. So if you are wealthy, you marry a woman, a virgin, and without consummation, you choose to uh, divorce her, you can leave her off or send her off with, let's say, if you like, let's say $1,000 if you have it. If you don't have it, you say you have only 50,000, $50, you can send her off. That is what this means. Um, so, oh, mauti hunna al-wusii kadrihu, will see healthy kadrihu, wa ala mo wa ala muktirina kadrihu, and the poor according to his ability. Mm. Mata'an bil bagrufin, that's according to his means, according to the means. Mata'an bil maruf, yes, uh, a gift of reasonable amount is due from those who wish to do the right thing. Mm. Uh, Hakan alal muhsinin, hakan alal muhsinin, a gift of a reasonable amount is due from those who wish to do the right thing. Again, can you imagine the number of words? Here it is hakan alal muhsinin. Finish. And you go to the English section, you see a gift of a reasonable amount is due from those who wish to do the right thing. So you see that the Quran or the Arabic in the Quran is like a dictionary here. You look, you read something, then you go to English and you explain. So many words needed to explain just a couple of words in the Quran. Let's go to 237. وَإِن طَلَّقْتُهُمْ and in talaktumuhuna min qabli an tamsi min qabli an tamsihuna وقد وقد كرتم وقد كربتم وقد كرت كرتم كربتم لهن فريدة فنصف ما فرضتم إلا أن إلا أن يف إن إلا أن يفو إلا أن يفونا أو يعفو الذي بيده عقدة عقدة النكاح النكاح. Yeah. Uh, and if you divorce them before consummation, but after the fixation of a dower for of a dower, the dower for them, then the half of the dower is due to them. Nisfun, half, is due to them unless they remit it, or the man's half is remitted by him, in whose hands is the marriage tie. So if you marry a virgin without sleeping with her, Gi- pardon me, and you divorce her, give him half, nisfun of the dowry. Give her half of, or you take half of what you gave to her, unless she decides to give you the other half. Let's say you give her $1,000 and you are divorcing. Don't take the $1,000 back. Take back 50. But if she chooses to give you the other 50, oh, we haven't had any contact, physical contact, take the 50. It's okay. So that's what this means. And if you also decide to leave the 50 for her, or even to leave everything for her, that is also acceptable. Well, I don't think this law is in our, what do the lawyer call it, statutory law or something like that. I don't think this can be found in our laws. Let's see. Because at the end, the mention of God will be there. Ayofu, Ayofu Alazi Yedi, or for the one who marries her, forgive them. Wa- Wa'an, wa'an tafu akrabu le taqwa, wa'an tafu akrabu le taqwa. Uh, and the remission of the man's half, if the nearest, sorry, that's the previous sentence. If the nearest to right, sorry, if the nearest to righteousness, uh, sorry, uh, by him in those hands is the marriage tie, that's the husband. If he chooses to forgive, fine. To forfeit the half, fine. And the remission of the man's half, if the nearest to righteousness. And do not forget liberality between yourselves, for God sees well all that you do. Yes. So the name of God is again here. Wa in ta'rifu al-akrabu lil taqwa wala wala tansu wala tansaw al-fadla bainakum, between yourself, bainakum, between yourself, liberty. If the nearest to righteousness, full stop. What a bad reading. I want viewers to make sense of it. If the marriage tie and the remission of the man's half, if the nearest to the righteous to righteousness, full stop. So if the man just chooses to forfeit the other half to him, give everything, that is the nearest. If that is the nearest to righteousness, and do not forget liberality between yourself. ولا ولا تنسوا الفضل بينكم. That is what is interpreted as do not forget liberality between yourselves, for Allah sees well all that ye do. I've explained it before. You see that at the end of the verse, the mention of God is again there. So when you are using the Quran, be careful that whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you read, you are doing under an oath. So there is an oath. The Quran is full of oaths. Hmm? The Quran is full of oaths. Only we don't know. That is why the mention of God is there. It's reminding you, when you are swearing an oath, you put your hand on the Bible or on the Quran and talk and make your desire, make your wish, or before you talk. So that's an oath. That's how we make an oath. And that is precisely what is in the Quran here. Well, I don't think it's in the Bible, but it's in the Quran here. Anything you say, remember God. It's an oath. So if you read these things and you understand them and you deliberately go against them, my brother, my friend, you will never go scotch-free. Never. You think you will go scotch-free on earth here. You will not. You will be woken up and you will question. Hmm? You violated this rule. You took this woman, somebody's daughter. You brought her. You left her like a rag. Do you remember when you read the Quran very well? Or when I gave you conscience? How do you think? You will be questioned. Afla takilun. Afla takilun. You ask you, why do you think? Plural. You singular, he will ask you, how do you think? So it's an oath. So the Quran is full of oaths. So don't joke with the mention of God. Never, 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 never joke with the mention of God. That's what the Quran is telling us by mentioning the name at the end of verses. Pardon me. Wa inna allaha bima tamaluna basirun. For God sees well what you do. Sees basirun. Let's go to the next verse. Hafizu ala salawati. Hafizu ala salawati. Wasalawa. Wasalawati wasta. Hafizu ala salawati. Wasalawati wasta. Wakumu lillahi kanitina. Wakulu lillahi kanitina. Here you see. Guard strictly your habit of prayers, especially the middle prayer, and stand before God in a devout frame of mind. Wakumu lillahi kanitina. And stand before God in a devout frame of mind. So here, God is saying again, reminding us again, when you say to pray, put your mind away from everything. That's why we have houses of God separate from places of enjoyment or public places. When I say house of God, like I've said in my earlier videos, it could be church, temple, cathedral, mosque, anything. So if you are a believer in the Quran and you stand, that's the key. If you stand for prayer, stand straight and put your mind off everything. That's why the leader, there is always a barrier in front of the leader. And if your mind is to be off everything, it must be off women. And so the woman should go back. It's as simple as that. It's not discrimination. It is not. The woman should go back, the man should be in front, so that no woman sees a man and no man sees a woman. So you can have full mind to concentrate. Not that when you stand and somebody passes, then you turn your head and look, and turn and let it look, and then continue. Or if you are alone praying and a woman passes by you and you are at the bending position, you raise your arm and look and then go back. No, you will be questioned. You may be forgiven, but you do it repeatedly and you will be questioned in your grave or in the hereafter. You are not paying attention to your prayers. You are just praying for prayer's sake. Yes, that's what this means. And that's why the mention of God is there. And stand before God. So the mention of God is there again at the end of the prayer. So it's an oath. If you choose to pray, pray. If you don't want to choose, if you haven't chosen to pray, don't pray. Okay. Uh, 229. Uh-huh. وإن خفتم فريجا وإن كنتم فرجالا أو وإن كنتم فرجالا أو ركبانا فإذا أنتم فإذا أنتم فاذكروا الله كما كما علمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون. What does it say? If you fear an enemy, eh, in those days especially, or even in the present day, it can happen where there are wars. But if you fear an enemy, pray on foot, eh, or riding, as may be most convenient. But when you are in security, celebrate God's praises in manner, in the manner, in the manner He has taught you, which you know not before. Yes, we didn't know how to pray before. He taught us how to stand straight, bend in the form of a comma, then go down, put forehead down. So we should pray in the manner that He has taught us. So in fear, you can pray, walking, riding, or anything. Eh? It's better than praying and looking side by side. Praying and looking at, as soon as somebody talks, somebody of the opposite talks, of the opposite sex talks, you turn and look at him. No. So instead of that, or if there is fear, or you have fear in your mind, oh, somebody is coming behind with a cutlass. People have done it. Muslims have done it. Muslims against Muslim, not Christians against Christians. Huh? A fellow Muslim will enter the mosque with cutlasses because they have differences in belief. So instead of that, you can pray while walking. Eh? David did it when he was when he was facing Goliath. They were praying. God, make our give us courage and make our steps firm against the unbelievers. They were praying while facing Him. So it happens. Uh, the next uh, verse or the next sign. I think here is talking about this. والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا وصية وصية لأزواجهم متاع إلى الحول غير غير الإخراج. Sorry for bad reading. It's pretty hot here, so oh, uh-huh. So those of you who die and leave widows should bequeath for their widows a year's maintenance, a year's maintenance without expulsion. Let me repeat that. Those of you who die and leave widows should bequeath for their widows a year's maintenance without expulsion. Uh, I'm not getting that here. Maybe I have to try to explain it later. Let me see. It's not very clear here. Maybe I can explain it later, or viewers who are listening may already know the meaning, but uh, let me repeat it so that I can. Those of you who die and leave widows should bequeath for their widows a year's maintenance without expulsion. I don't know, because maybe if you are sick and you want to die, because I don't know how you can bequeath something before dying, if it's in the war or if the death is impromptu, notice, or unexpected. So I don't know. Maybe before, for the old days, before you die, you bequeath. Uh, you bequeath for for your widows a, a year's maintenance without expulsion. Mm. So let's go on anyway. فإن فإن هرجنا فإن هرجنا فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلنا في أنفسهن من معروف والله عزيز حكيم. It adds, but if they leave, into brackets, the residence, if they leave the residence, there is no blame on you for what they do with themselves. I mean, home for themselves, provided it is reasonable. Mm. And God is exalted in power, wise. So another oath there. Mm. So remember, uh, God in whatever you do. Mm. That's uh, let's see. والمتلكات متاع بالمعروف. For the divorced women, it's a suitable gift. وللمطلقات متاع بالمعروف حقا على المتكين. Sorry, let me take it again. ومطلقات معروفا ومطلقات متاع بالمعروف حقا على المتكين. For divorced women, it's a suitable gift. This is a duty on the righteous, للمتقين. Mhm. Let's go to the last in the section, last verse of the section, which is 242. كذلك يبين الله لكم آيات لعلكم تعقلون. And mention of God again. Thus that God make clear his signs to you in order that you may understand. So God again. And you see even the previous verse, there's another mention of God, because it says le mutakina. That's on the righteous. Mm? For divorced women, it's a suitable gift. This is a duty on the righteous. So the righteous is also a mention of God. Those who fear God, mutakina. So let's not make jest of the signs of God. It's there in the Quran. Do not make jest of the signs of God. And he's reminding us in all the verses, almost all the verses, either the name of God or being righteous or something like that, or doing things maruf, doing things that are acceptable. Mm. So that is it. Mm. Again, we shall have to defer the tabloids to the next video. See, even remembering video, I can't. To the next video. Um, because I've used most of the time reading very badly. But it's better than nothing. The little I know, I will, proclaim. Mhm. Ikra. Huh? The little I know, I will proclaim, and maybe God will have mercy on me. You know, instead of using my time on useless things. So, thank you very, very much for being patient with me, listeners. I will leave you here. Ila likai. Bye bye.